wait for the players to spawn in, take a little look at the system as we look around here. 2 planets with orbiting, one of them a gas giant, and 2 inner planets. Going to be quite a long transition time between these planets because they're a little bit spread out. We're going to see hopefully a decent usage of teleporters. And it'll be interesting to see whether we see any gas giant play here, because the gas giants can be pretty powerful now that the rigs are a bit cheaper but a bit weaker.
Yeah, and there's also the Annihilator there as well on metal.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of different situations that people can play in, but spawning in.
Yep, here we go. Welcome everybody to Game 2 in Clanwars Week 4 between Voice of War and PAGods. I'm ZaphodX and I'm joined here today by Marshall.
Hello there guys, and we've got commanders spawned all across this system in a 6-planet one in the Voices of War home game. So looking on the first planet there, Waste, or Desert. Vesta, that's the one.
Vesta.
We have 2 VOW commanders there, and only 1 PAG. No, 2 PAG
we actually
commanders.
have 2. There's one hidden at the South Pole there. So let's go one by one and have a little look at Ocean. There's actually no one on the ocean planet there. And looking over at Asteroid, no one on Asteroid. Mond, wow, we see 2 players spawning from each team as well on Mond as well. And already a little bit of harassment almost going on with those dots coming in there at the southern PAG player. There's definitely going to be a huge amount of action on Mond, I think.
Yeah, and if you
especially
notice,
early on.
PAG have spawned in where there's dense metal clusters. I mean, who wouldn't? Especially after the last game. It means they don't have to expand quite as far early on, and I'm going to really be interested to see if we see any orbital rushing, or whether the players just decide, you know what, let's not bother going into orbital just yet. We need to control these planets and fight them off them first before we stretch ourselves more thinly.
Yeah, honestly, at this stage, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 very intense 2v2 matches on these 2 planets and see very little orbital, if any. Pressure being put on very intense already by PAGods, and coming in at this first expanding engineer, and they take down that expanding engineer, going to take down that mech as well, prevent one of them from being built, and so much pressure. We're going for just non-stop bot factories here. 5 bot factories been built there by one of those PAG players, and in a lot of trouble.
Looks as though one of the VOW players is having a little bit of hardware issues, but given the way that the players are spawned there, I think on Vesta, I think one player can probably control those 2 bases, given they're pretty proximal to one another, although they are getting harassed pretty damn hard over there. There's just so many bots everywhere, managing to take out another expanding Fabber, although they are getting vehicles there as well. But one of the keys to success here, I think, is going to be putting up teleporters to go and assist your teammates.
Yeah, PAG is really going hard in on this one. They built a lot very quickly. I don't think they're going to go for any eco. They're just really going to go as much as they can for units and early harassment to slow down Voices of War. We do see a little bit of eco going on, but really only investing 1 or so engineer into that.
Yeah, I mean, the factory counts are pretty even, 20 to 21, but the unit counts there, 130 for PAG to only 90 for VOW, so already pulling away a little bit. And an orbital launcher already. I'll just ping that for you there, if you can see it.
That. That is interesting. So you never know, actually. If they can get that out and hold on for long enough, then that could start paying off for them, particularly if they start going to some of these other planets, because I think PAG is going to be pretty slow on that, but really the payoff time is long. It's going to take a long time to get off planet and then start getting enough resources from that off-planet advantage that you get.
Yeah, and of course
they need to hold on for a long time to make that worthwhile.
You got to get there as well while holding onto your bases, because of course if you relinquish control of a planet or a base while going into the orbital, you're basically starting from a blank slate and putting yourself at a bigger disadvantage, because of course your opponent can just chase you through the orbit and he still already has the established bases. So it really is an all or nothing strategy for them, I feel, at the moment, for the player who is going for the orbital rush.
Yeah, at the moment we do see a little bit more action going on in the moon. Unsurprising, because we see so many bots and a little bit more factories, but going for tanks actually as well on Vesta, and they're going to be slowly moving south. Once they start hitting, they're going to put a lot of pressure on those bots that Voice of War have built there. Couple of bots have actually made it into one of the bases, going to start working in on these power gens. That's going to give them a great advantage. No point going for the factories, getting rid of the power and damaging their eco is going to be the best that they can do. And building up a lot of forces as well for PAG on this moon, moving in with some of their bots, just non-stop pressure, getting up a couple of single laser turrets which will help, but still not going to be easy as they currently trail 380 metal for PAG and 190 for Voices of War, almost twice as much for PAG.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous economy of disparity at the moment, and of course with that economy, PAG don't really need to worry too much about the orbital. They might think about getting an orbital radar, of course, once they scout the launcher, because the Astraeus is coming out. If we look from their point of view, they do see that the orbital launcher exists, so they should prioritise getting up the deep space radar there. I don't actually see one going up in any of their bases. In fact, nope, there is one there on Vesta, so they will be aware of any orbital movements, and they're getting up their own launcher as well.
Putting the pressure on with all of these bots just zooming around and trying to take whatever they can at the outskirts. Once again, finishing off all that power, and that's going to put them in a massive hole, losing their power. Currently stalling on metal as well. And tanks are at the south pole of the desert planet here. They're going to cause a little bit of trouble. We'll see the bots there just get vaporized by those tanks. Very little losses on the side of the tanks as well. So good work from PAG, investing in that time to get all those tanks down there. And now it's going to start paying off for them. So much pressure being put on Voices of War here. And taking a look at... Yeah, their commander has just got off in an Astraeus.
Yeah, but PAG
so they have at least got off
that.
planet.
I was watching from PAG's point of view, and they do manage to see that from their point of view, so they are aware of that. And it is going off to the ocean.
Yeah, that's got 74 metal on it, so it's actually one of the most densely populated metal planets. But it's going to take a very long time to get around there. He's got to loop all the way around the sun, around the gas giant, and then onto the planet. So it's not going to be quick to get on there.
Not at all, and of course that's a lot of time in orbit for PAG to notice that that's occurring and to chase them as well. So if we look at where they're putting up their orbital launcher, they haven't yet completed it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a fabricator come out first rather than an Astraeus, which will chase it, put up a teleporter and send some units through.
Looking at the moon, we see a large group of docks now, getting rid of the last of the factories from one of those Voices of War bases, and now moving all their units towards the northern Voices of War base. This is pretty much the end for Voices of War on the moon. Taking a look at the desert planet as well, they've been putting pressure on the southern base and done a good bit of damage, and they've also started building orbital fighters from one of their orbital factories on that desert planet as well, so already moving into the orbital and just going to chase them down and go for the win. And we actually see GG's called there by Cryo, so we may well see a game concede here. It is definitely looking pretty dire for them at this stage. They didn't manage to get off the planet quick enough, and either way they were just put under so much pressure early on with that really aggressive bot rushing, and that it put them in a bit of a deep hole to try and get out of.
Yeah, I think the common misconception with Orbital is that it's a get-out-of-jail-free card. It really, really isn't. I think the way that really you should be approaching Orbital is that if you're at a stalemate on your planet, you get over to the other planets, you get the extra eco, you get the super weapons, you get the advantages, and then you come back and you make the difference on your original planets. And unfortunately, Voices of War didn't manage to keep up the tug of war and fight PAG back on the other planets, and thus lost them.
See, one of the Voices of War commanders moves towards the southern side of the moon just to try and suicide in their base and slow them down at least a little bit. He doesn't do ultimately much damage, and Voices of War can start taking this whole planet now, moving in and getting rid of that last commander. The southern base on the desert planet has also gone down. Game paused temporarily there, but I think this is the beginning of the end. If we look out to orbit, actually no, let's watch this commander as the docks chase him down and fired down on him to get rid of that last commander. I think there is one commander left, which is making its way around the orbit now, going around the gas giant, ready to land on the ocean planet. Oh, there's actually two commanders. One of them also managed to get off. Really, they're basically reset back to the Stone Age. They have almost nothing at this stage, whereas PAG obviously have a huge economy and can just chase them down pretty easily.
Yeah, and they will be starting from a blank slate, but as the GGs have been called, I think they're just going to wait for the commanders to arrive on that planet before deleting them, because there really isn't anything Voices of War can do against this. Ping's going off from PAG as well, saying, oh look, there's a commander over there. He's just plopped himself down. So, you know, I'm going to give this game to PAG.
Yeah, I think Cryo called the GGs, but his teammates do still want to play on, so they're going to play it out, see what they can do. It's a little bit of a pity. It would have been nice to see some crazy orbital stuff going on, but I'm not sure why they weren't so aggressive, to be honest. That was what we would expect PAG to do, just be very aggressive and probably go for a very intense bot rush, which is what they did.
Yeah, you got to be prepared for that. And I think the metal counts on the planets where they spawned, I think that worked actually in PAG's favour rather than Voices of War. I think if Voices of War want to do a multi-planet system, you really have to lower the metal counts on your spawning planets to really encourage the orbital play and really get your enemy out of their comfort zone. But having so many metal, it really negates the use of orbital, really, other than let's run away and extend the game.
I think both commanders have landed now. Yeah, both commanders have landed. We do have a couple of orbital fighters there. Do we have orbital engineers? Yeah, orbital engineers are already on the way, actually. So they're going to be landing very, very soon and going to be able to get a teleporter down. Also get out some orbital stuff as well. I don't think they're going to be able to secure this landmass to stop the teleporter coming down. So all they need to do, really, PAG is actually finish this off pretty quick, is just get a teleporter down. They have more than enough units to send through and just come in here to finish it off.
Yep, there's one of the teleporter ends moving in from Vesta there. And they've also got T2 economy going up as well, that's how far ahead they are. And over on Mond as well, they have another teleporter in there.
Yeah, those orbital fabbers are up. They've got the teleporter queued. There's teleporters there waiting on their starting planets with units gagging to get in here and do some damage. 2 separate teleporters going up as well. Always a good idea to be having multiple teleporters coming up so that you can have a bigger force of units coming through.
Yeah, it always helps. But the 2 commanders there walling themselves in so hard with the laser turrets there and the walls as well. But personally, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yep, turtling in here, going to have a whole load of turrets. And they're going to fight down to the end. Oh wow, we see a commander coming through as well. So he wants to fight. He wants to get in at the front. You get a bonus if your commander is leading the way. It gives you more morale for your troops.
No statistical boosts, of course.
Yeah, it does. It gives you a higher fire rate for sure. See, look, they're crowding around that commander. Look at the sheer amount of docks right now. That is a huge amount of docks coming through, tightly packed ever so much.
But they keep retreating though, so they're just losing numbers.
The commander is shouting charge, getting ready to lead the way.
We just need a flag bearer and a bannerman.
We do indeed.
Winter is coming.
Indeed. And you see they're pulling back here. They want the commander to go in first, just to assert his dominance right now.
Boombot.
And now they can move in, now that he's leading the way.
They're actually going to lose all of their units.
A whole load of docks. There we go. There go the docks. They want to give them a chance, so they like Gold League scrubs.
The force is now in disarray as they have lost their leader, thinking, what on earth do we do now? All the formations have just gone to pot as the laser turrets desperately try and defend their fallen, their remaining commanders there as the walls go up on Ocean. The wreckage is shot out of existence there because there's so many turrets.
Yeah. There's a rather black scorch mark there, and a whole load of units that could still be moving through this teleporter. Might see a move order coming in soon.
Talk about discoloration. Looking over on the other planets, I'm just going to have a quick scan around to see if I can find any nuclear armaments, just as a sort of final bye-bye. But it doesn't seem as though that is the case, certainly not.
Oh, we do see reclaiming from orbit, so these orbital fabbers are here just reclaiming some of those turrets and getting rid of them. Before they move in on the commander, and not much Voices of War can do them. 1,000 nations of the PAG Empire descend upon you, says Eladir.
That's a very scary thought, isn't it not? I don't actually see any nuclear armaments, so it looks as though they're just going to go for the orbital cheese. Oh wow, units around. There are some holes in those walls. They just need the boombots now. Just focus on boombots. The commander's trying to defend themselves. Double uber cannon. Single explosion. One lonely commander remains. They have survived for more than 5 minutes. They have achieved their goal.
Indeed, they did. Full 15 minutes, not too bad. One commander here, lit up by the sun, standing next to the wreckage of his fallen comrade. The dust clears. The enemies temporarily disappear, form another group before moving in. They have an air factory actually on this planet.
We see the last of his species. The Invictus commander heading towards the teleporter structure in an attempt to reminisce with his fallen comrades and avenge their deaths by suiciding in the middle of a vast army, getting a rather large kill count. Oh my goodness!
Oh, for goodness sake!
Black magic!
For goodness sake, Pag! Really? Really?
Wow. Can we...
I think Pag want to reclaim him. I think that's the way they want to end it. Yeah, they do have 3 orbital
Oh,
feathers.
there he goes. At liggity long last.
GG's.
GG's.
Congratulations to Pag there, the Planetary Annihilation gods. They win their points by winning both their games, so good work for them.
Almost panto annihilation gods there, with the amount of shenanigans going on.
Okay, let's have a little talk with the players. Let's grab Cryo in here first to speak to Voices of War.
Hello, Cryo.
Hey.
A bit unfortunate there. Very aggressive moves from Pag coming in at you.
Yeah, it was totally a mess. The first 30 seconds more or less decided the game. And then again, Sekuras with his hardware issues. Not able to control anything, and yeah.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. They did put a lot of pressure on you early on. It looks like you could have maybe gone for a couple more factories and a little bit less eco, but obviously there are problems.
Well, we also play most of the time random games, and you never come in situations like this where you have to fight like this, and well, therefore it was okay. I think overall with both games we can be content with what we did.
It's a pity we didn't really get to see your system played how it could have been, which is unfortunate. I'm sure there could be some pretty interesting games played on this system.
Yeah.
And lots of planets, but all pretty small, which is nice.
Yeah, I think we will have some more opportunities in the other matches.
Yeah. But still relatively happy with your play and still confident going into your other games then?
Yeah, I think it was not so bad. The first round showed that we know how to play on big maps, and maybe we will improve our play on little planets a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think on their system you did a good job and showed that you can definitely still play. Maybe increase the number of spawning planets for your system would help for this sort of rush scenario a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think this is possible now. If I remember the rules correctly.
Yeah. We did allow one change to the systems mid-season, but I don't think there's any more remaining. Alright, thank you very much, Cryo. Anything else you want to say?
No, thank the whole team also for casting and organizing. I think it's really a lot of work that you put into it, so good job also for this.
Thank you very much. We are the front men, but there's a lot of great people behind the scenes who are doing a lot of work on the site and the organisation of the tournament in general, so thank you.
Yep. See you.
See ya. Hello there, Klops.
Hi, how are you?
Happy with how that went?
Yeah, it was quicker than I thought it was going to be, so that's good.
I want to talk through your plan going in there. Did you wing it as you came in and just play aggressive? Or?
Yeah, the plan was to play aggressive, and then I felt we played aggressive enough. Well, we all felt, not just me. that we would be able to win the planets and then just chase them off. So I think it worked out okay. A few of the lads trolling at the end, but that's okay.
A little bit, yeah. Do they want to finish with the orbital fabbers?
Yeah, I think you're blowing up units and everything.
Yeah. Which planet were you on, Flops?
The one I think it's called Waste.
The desert.
Yeah.
The desert planet. Okay. So I guess you weren't very concerned when you saw they built that orbital launcher.
No, I felt they were getting off pretty early, so I was happy enough then.
Yeah.
But I think we cut up them quick. We cut them quick enough. Because when I seen the planet they were moving, I was like, oh, that's really easy to hold down that planet because there's only a little bit of land, so a few umbrellas and we actually can't get onto the planet.
Exactly,
so we had to go. We had to be as quick as possible. But it went okay.
I think that early aggression with the docks, it just it sealed the deal, and everything was a little bit downhill there for them.
Yeah, the maps are so small, like so. I think we're all 1v1 players, so we kind of know how to pressure people. I think, but they showed in the first game they can build, and they're a good team, and you know how to play the game. Like it's just docks rushing is really difficult to defend if it's been done well. I think.
Yeah, it is,
and if you're not
particularly
used to
when you're taking out those first engineers.
And if you're not used to that, it's even harder, I suppose. But yeah.
So congratulations, you win your points by winning both your games.
Thanks, thank you. Yeah.
Good work.
It's good to
Confident
get our
going
first
into the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think we need to work a little bit on communication better, but it worked. It was a lot better the second game. But it was fine. I was happy enough. I think the lads are quite happy too.
Good stuff. So you're showing that you are definitely still a force to be reckoned with after running into a bit of trouble earlier in the season.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that was just some bad decisions and a good opponent as well. So,
would you say you're happier with your revision to this system going down to your single medal planet rather than 4 moons?
Yeah, I just think that it's quite easy to play on one planet, but it's just we need more concept and more communication. But it's a lot easier. It's probably not as good for the watchers, but it's better to play. I'm sure the last game, the stalemate of like 2 hours, wasn't good to watch either.
Yeah, it was better for performance as well. So
yeah, exactly.
Definitely preferred from my point of view.
The game looks better that way.
Good work, Klops, and congratulations.
Thanks very much. Have a good night, and thanks to you guys for doing this again. And best of luck to Cairo and Vel for the rest of the tournament.
The league. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Okie doke, guys. The games are not finished, however. We actually have a little announcement for a new tournament that is happening. The Mini Mods Mayhem, as you may have seen in chat, posted. We'll post it again as well, just to make sure you get it. We're doing a new tournament in about a month, and it's going to be all played with mods. There's going to be 6 rounds, and there's going to be 6 different mods to play, so you're going to have to get good at multiple different game modes with different touches to the vanilla gameplay. So that's definitely something you're going to need to practice for. It's going to be fun and interesting and different. They are mini mods. They're not massive overhaul mods. They are relatively small changes, just to make it a little bit easier for everybody involved. But it should be a lot of fun, so I highly recommend you check it out and get hyped for the mini mods tournament. It should be a lot of fun.